still on duty. But what about tomorrow? That's the question we put to people in the crime-plagued Lexington area.
They're public servants. They got job security. They're not supposed to strike.
It's a free society. Except there ain't nothing free, because there's no guarantees, you know? You're on your own. Law of the jungle.
All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to Games and Graps Live. This is the pre-show before the pre-show for WWE Extreme Rules 2021. My name is Sonny G, and I'm joined by Steve.
Good evening.
What's happening, Steve? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. Good. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Finn Steele isn't here tonight. He's doing his duty, serving the public, working in retail. Look, a good boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're carrying the show. We're carrying the brand. That's what we're doing. We're just carrying it.
Back's hurting again.
Yeah, our backs are hurting, but yeah, you look, it's all good.
It's all good. It's all good. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Hey, look, it'll be all good. Look, people are already, Brett's already in. People are already in the comments. You guys were here before us, before we were even logged in.
Yeah.
And yeah, we appreciate you. Like Brett is even saying Finn. People want Finn.
We want Finn.
The people want Finn. Dan, Terra Sports Inc. is here. What's happening, Dan? Thank you for joining us. Thank you to all of you for joining us. So far, we've got Rachel's in the comments, Brett's in the comments, Squinny is here. And also, we've got Dan. And we're here to talk about WWE Extreme Rules 2021. But let's start with an interesting comment from Dan here. He says, feel like WWE is well behind now. So, yeah, I mean, All Elite Wrestling, they've just had a massive week. They've had the Grand Slam shows for both Dynamite and Rampage, all filmed on the same night. And yeah, they've done good. They're the first people to sell out or to sell that many tickets for pro wrestling who aren't WWE since 1999.
In New York, is that?
No.
What, just ever?
In general, yeah. So since 1999, nobody has sold above 20,000 tickets in pro wrestling, apart from WWE.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I understand now. That's amazing. That really does show the popularity of it. People want to see it. It's amazing. It really is. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, Dan said their AEW Grand Slam was levels above, and it was. You know, in so many ways, it just, we say this all the time, but it always sort of feels like it's the turning point. You know, and I feel like we say it a lot. Like I feel like we come on this show and we're like, last night was the turning point. But Friday also felt like the turning. Well, sorry, Wednesday and then Friday both felt like the turning point. You know, in AEW's favor. But you know that I feel like that pendulum has been swinging for quite some time now. Squinny says North America. Okay, that's fine, whatever. But it's still good.
It's still amazing, yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, I mean, the fact that they can start their weekly televised broadcast with Kenny Omega versus Bryan Danielson is quite frankly insane. It's nuts. And still have a great show throughout the broadcast. You know, it's it's crazy. It's just such a fun time to be a pro wrestling fan, you know?
Yeah, we've got another option, haven't we? You know, for years and years and years, well, options, should I say. For years and years, all we had really was WWE. I mean,
that's it.
That was it. And It's probably the reason why it's gone stale. And then as soon as a bit of competition comes along, they don't seem to be able to have an answer for it.
Yeah, and weekly television on WWE has been poor for some time. It's not taken AEW for this to happen.
No, it was happening way before that. I think it's just taken AEW coming along has made people realize that, actually, this isn't a good product. Yeah. WWE, it isn't a good product. This is what a good wrestling show looks like. And look, AEW Weekly doesn't knock it out of the park every single week. That'd be a huge ask considering how new a company they are.
Yeah. I mean, two years in, they're still in they're still in their infancy as a national televised wrestling show.
Yeah, but it does feel like like you said, it feels like a huge turning point. The only thing I can kind of liken it to was like when a lot of the WCW guys were starting to move. I'm talking before the invasion, before Vince bought WCW, when guys just started arriving on WWE, WWF back then.
Mm-hmm.
Jericho moved over. Guerrero, Benoit, Barry Saturn. They all moved over, and they were just eventually, Paul White, Big Show. They were all just kind of, I'm leaving this place. It's a sinking ship, and
yeah.
Although WWE have released a lot of talent recently, what you're starting to see now is talent actually refusing to sign new contracts and be like, no, I'm going to go somewhere else. Daniel Bryan being one of them, Bryan Danielson, Dragon, whatever you want to call him. Adam
always
Cole.
Dragon on this show.
Always Dragon on here, but
always. We've never not called it.
Adam Cole, the same. No, I'm not re-signing with you. There's this other company now that are going to give me what I want.
Yeah.
There's talk of Kevin Owens. There's talk of Sami Zayn. It's just slowly but surely these WWE, talented WWE wrestlers are willing to let their contracts run down because they're like, well, I've got options now. Whereas in the past, it was almost, if you don't sign with us, then it's indie shows, I'm afraid.
Yeah, your global exposure is limited.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a huge shift. And I've credit to WWE for doing what they're doing in terms of NXT and trying again with that and trying to restart that and build that back up from the ground and build some new, the stars of the future. But it really does feel like it's swung the other way.
Yeah, especially for the the demographic that is spoken about a lot. Like the sort of that key demographic. I always forget the actual ages that they're aiming
18 to 35, is it?
That sounds about right. Yeah, that key demographic, which is so important, which is us essentially.
Yeah,
when you just about when you watch AEW, you can see that. You can see that the kind of fans that are in the crowds, that it's people who look like us.
For sure, yeah. I've never been one for in terms the politics of wrestling interests me almost as much as what I see in ring at times. But ratings has never been something I'm kind of like, so what? I'm not really that, but I kind of get it now, and I do get why it is so important for wrestling companies that have got a weekly TV show to hit that demographic, because they're the ones that are they're either gonna stick with it or they're gonna bin it off because there's so much else out there. Younger kids, they will probably stick with WWE because it's family friendly and all of that sort of stuff. They want to see their superheroes effectively.
Yeah.
So I can totally see why the 18 to 35 or whatever it is and above, why that is so important, because they're the ones that will stick around. They're the ones that will be vocal on social media, all of that stuff.
Yeah, and it's just really interesting to see how things are changing because of AEW coming along. So obviously what NXT was an indie show, a very polished, indie show with talents that please the internet wrestling fans.
Yeah, sure.
But their in polished indie show, was losing against the new shiny polished indie wrestling show in AEW. So, and that's forced WWE's hand to now change NXT completely and go towards a much more WWE-esque looking product.
Yeah. And I think as well, they still want to be able to have to say, look, we brought this guy, this woman, this female wrestler through our developmental. We plucked them from amateur wrestling, from basketball, from NFL, whatever, or college football, put them through our developmental. What WWE really don't want is, I guess, is the wrestler. I'll say Seth. I'll use Seth Rollins for example. Someone that did the Indies, did all of that, and then went through NXT and all that. Because yes, he will have been shown the WWE way of wrestling, but they weren't showing him the absolute basics. He already knew them. And what they want is to be able to say, we produce this person. It's a bit like the football thing. This kid came through our youth system, and now he's one of the best players in the league. Etc.
Yeah. Well, we've plucked these people from having no knowledge of being a professional wrestler whatsoever, to
having never been in a ring. Yeah. I mean, even
now being headlining WrestleMania type thing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even I don't know whether I heard this right or not, and I know that obviously Bron Breakker has got wrestling in his DNA.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure I heard that he's actually the first time he stepped into a ring was February this year.
That one. I mean, and it wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, and so that's what they want. They want to be able to say, look, this guy never wrestled, never been in a ring. Unless he was probably messing around with his family or whatever, but
it's stretched out by Scott Steiner.
Yeah, now he's main event in WrestleMania. Look how amazing we are. This is the land, and then it goes back to that kind of land of opportunity.
Yeah, you're right. It does.
That they come out with, doesn't it? We're the land of opportunity.
And I'm not against it.
Credit to them for trying.
If that's the path that WWE want to do, it's very ambitious because all the way through the time of even like in the the late 80s, early 90s when WWF was at its heights, the likes of Ted DiBiase and Macho Man, and they weren't exactly, they're not what you would call homegrown talent.
No,
because they were wrestling sort of obviously on the territories and all this sort of stuff before that. And Vince McMahon sort of brought them in to the WWF, and that's when they then became household names. Whereas now what they're doing is they're going away from pulling people from anywhere that anybody's seen before and literally building, from the ground up. Like, we're building these wrestlers, and it's very it's very ambitious, but it's very interesting as well.
Yeah, I think so. Definitely.
Yeah. Right. Let's have a look at some of the comments here. So we've been talking. That was Dan. That was a really, really good conversation starter. So thank you for that. Right. Are there any matches that are extreme tonight? Very good question that I do actually not know the answer to at the minute.
Is there any what? Sorry.
Extreme, like gimmicky matches, because obviously this is Extreme Rules, isn't it?
The only one, by the looks of it, is the Roman Reigns Demon Finn Balor match.
Which is what?
It just says Extreme Rules match for the WWE Universal Championship.
Oh, right. Okay, cool. And obviously there's a triple threat on there as well, which would automatically be no disqualification.
No disqualification, yeah. So there's there's the triple threat as well, but everything else is just singles match, tag match, singles match.
Yeah. Half and half split as well. Male and female talent on display tonight. 6 matches.
Yes. Yeah, 6 matches. Good.
Right, let's see who we got in the comments. So, Uncle Gripper's here. What's happening, Gripper? Thank you for joining us. Powered Force says WWE big UK event in 2022 got to be right. Yes, I want to say, but based on the boxing last night, you could have a wrestling event in the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium very easily.
Yes.
And it would look awesome as well. So, yeah, potentially.
Yeah.
Squinny says you wait till the kids discover blood, then they'll enjoy AEW. HBR is here. What's happening, HBR? That's your name now. No going back. Evening. I think I saw John and Jesse at O2 on Monday with all the media people. Was wondering if all media get on or if there's rivals. They all look happy. Yeah, they're all there for the same reason, you know? So, yeah, John and Jess were at the O2, sort of representing Powered 4 and Sportskeeda. And, yeah, they all get on. They're all there for the same reason. Yeah, of course, everybody's trying to get people to view their own content and all that sort of stuff, which is natural. There are other people, I'm sure, doing pre-shows like this tonight, or at least preview shows for Extreme Rules. Yeah. But they're not as good as this, and that's why you're here. So, Rachel is here. Yeah, we've already said hello to Rachel. Let's, yeah, she was supposed to be going to the O2, but sold the ticket. But she's going in November now, and that's cool. Steve Monkman's here. What's happening, Steve? Welcome to the show. And yes, we are well, he asks. There we go.
Certainly am.
Powered 4 says, I wonder if the gimmicks will be announced tonight. Liv Morgan made a comment saying she would like theirs to be a street fight in an interview. Liv Morgan, of course, she's going to be wrestling Carmella tonight. So maybe, I mean, it feels like with so much going on in the wrestling world, a lot of Extreme Rules have sort of been lost in the shuffle tonight.
Definitely.
Yeah. But WWE do usually knock it out of the park with pay-per-views. You know, there's rarely bad WWE pay-per-views. It's weekly TV that's the struggle for the most part.
Yeah, the pay-per-views are okay, but I'm literally judging it on SummerSlam was the last pay-per-view, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm purely judging it on. I mean, that didn't feel like a great pay-per-view. It was okay. And then you see what AEW did with All Out, and then what they've done in the last sort of week or so. The last thing WWE need now is to be knocking out poor pay-per-views as well, because then they are in trouble.
Big time, yeah. I mean, hopefully the draft will shake things up with WWE. I mean, there's always that hope. But it needs freshening up. We say it every week on the podcast, and, you know, my opinion on that, you know, hasn't changed and won't change, because it does need freshening up. And hopefully the draft will sort of give some guys that have gone a bit stale on weekly TV a new lease of life on the other show, and, you know, and vice versa. So Brett says, must be some rivals. Hey, look, yeah, there probably is. But, you know, we don't know of it. We don't really get involved in any of that stuff.
No.
Until we do. You know, don't worry about it. Don't worry yourselves about it. Everyone's happy. Everyone's happy. Brett doesn't like What Culture and TalkSport have banned him from calling. Are you harassing TalkSport, Brett? Are you harassing them?
Why did you get Brett? Why did you get banned, Brett? I want to know.
Yeah.
Want to know.
Carnage is here. What's happening, Carnage? Welcome to the stream, my friend. Welcome to the stream. He says, Carnage. Sorry. That's his new name. Simon Miller is awesome. Brett, come on. TalkSport, take it or leave it. Yep, which is fair. Look, everyone's going to have their different opinions on people. You know, everyone's always going to go to their sort of preferred media outlet and podcasters and all that sort of stuff. And, you know, that's the beauty of opinion, I guess. Some people will enjoy these shows that we do. Others, it won't be for them. But, you know, that's not really something that us or any of those guys can really control. So, guys, the best thing for you to do is just enjoy what you enjoy and let others do the same.
Agree.
Same with anything, you know, not just podcasting and whatnot. They've got the Saudi show, Rachel says. Yep, Saudi show is, when is that? Soon, right? 21st of October, maybe?
It's October, yeah.
They're doing Brock Roman there and not Survivor Series. Yeah, I'm assuming with Survivor Series, they're going to go with Raw and Raw versus SmackDown again, at a guess. Which would sort of say Big E versus Roman, and they sort of build towards that.
Yeah, 21st of October.
Yeah. Yeah, so I would imagine it's going to be Raw versus SmackDown, because obviously they've already sort of planted the seeds for Big E and Roman.
Yeah.
So I would imagine that will happen at Survivor Series. I mean, no one's under the illusion that Finn Balor is going to win the Universal Championship tonight. As awesome as that would be.
We'll see.
And Brock isn't going to win it in Saudi. I wouldn't have thought, at least.
It's been done.
It's been done, but I just can't see it.
No, maybe not. Maybe not.
No, I don't think they'll pull the trigger on that. I think they'll keep it on Reigns for a little while. Maybe have him lose it at Mania next year, possibly to Brock then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Gripper says, I hate Raw versus SmackDown stuff like there's rivalry at all. Yeah, I mean, the rivalry happens about a week before Survivor Series when one team comes running out in blue T-shirts, the other comes running out in red T-shirts, and that's about it. There's no one's going out on SmackDown every week and go, fucking, I hate Raw. It's rubbish, and we're much better. If they did that, then you'd maybe have a case for people giving two shits about any sort of potential rivalry, between Raw and SmackDown. But at the end of the day, everyone goes about their business on SmackDown. Everybody goes about their business on Raw. And there's no rivalry anywhere because nobody cares.
Nope.
Gripper's going to come to us with a suggestion here by the looks of it. What would work is, hear this out. We'll hear it out, of course. Hey, look, we'll hear anybody's opinion out. Anybody's. Come to us with any opinion and we'll say whether we agree or not. But whether we agree or not doesn't mean that we're right. It doesn't matter. Fox versus USA. There you go. Right. Already, that's the thing. Ratings war. Create your own internal ratings war.
Yeah.
Which SmackDown will always win at the minute.
Yeah. Certainly will.
HBR says while Uncle Gripper is writing some more stuff. Yeah, they all look good and happy. I think media in any line of entertainment is the same. Most media get on, but obviously look out for number one. Of course. Yeah, you know what? I'd be on board with it. If somebody on SmackDown, if Roman Reigns came out on SmackDown and said, there's no point in having Raw versus SmackDown at Survivor Series because just like in the ratings, we would beat them hands down. Just something, something different,
Well, haven't they tried that, didn't they, with Shane versus Steph? Didn't they? A few years back.
In a roundabout way, I think they did, yeah. But there's no reason why. I mean, let's be fair here. Pro wrestling is constantly rehashed ideas of previous ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Grippers say here, Fox rep versus USA rep. They don't have to be the actual people who work for these two companies.
No.
They could be sort of like a fake authority figure saying, oh, hey, I'm a executive from Fox. And then on Raw, someone could come in, red tie, obviously, and say, oh, I'm a representative of the USA Network, and we're not happy with, people over on Fox saying that our show isn't as good. They need to do something to really differentiate the two brands, make them feel different, give us a reason to care about them all wrestling, because, we were talking about this actually last night, where with the wild card rule thing that they're looking to bring back. Uncle Gripper, to answer your question, yes, Johnny Ace does still work at WWE.
He does all the sacking.
Yeah, he literally is the one.
He makes all the phone calls.
Yeah, sends all the texts out.
Then puts all your stuff in a bag and sends it.
Yeah. It's like, sorry, dude, you're out of a job. Send. Mass send to the WWE locker room WhatsApp group chat. But yeah, we were talking about this last night about like how, there was a time when they had the wild card rule thing going on, but Baron Corbin was on every single show and Charlotte Flair was on every single show. And you're like, well, what's the point in watching two different shows? Because, you
what's the point? What's the point in having a brand split?
Yeah, you have, you have two shows with separate championship belts to make them like different brands, but then everybody's on all the shows.
Yeah, it was stupid.
Why should we give a shit? Why can't Baron Corbin just go for any championship he wants? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they need to do something to like really differentiate the two shows. And hopefully after the draft, they will do that. But we know WWE, they probably won't.
No.
Nick Khan isn't the one that does all the sackings. He's the one who makes the decisions. Johnny Ace is then the one who has to be the bearer of bad news, as it were.
Yeah. You tend to hear a lot of them. They say, "Oh yeah, Johnny Ace rang me and or whatever and wish me luck."
Yeah, they'll pop on Jericho's podcast and like, "Yeah, I got a text off Ace, and yeah, he basically just said that I'm sorry, but due to budget cuts, you've got to go," or whatever fucking excuse they're using these days for.
Due to the fact we've got 4,000 wrestlers, we're going to let you go.
Yeah, we've got 15 brands and 756 wrestlers on each brand. Are you guys? So this is what Dan is asking. Are you guys Powered 4 or your own thing? And is Big Fight Weekly doing it? We are basically affiliated with Powered 4. So we are the Games and Graps podcast is its own thing, but our podcast and live shows such as this, they go on to Powered 4.
Yeah.
If that's sort of the answer that you're looking for. Big Fight Weekly is a Powered 4 live show also, but they weren't a thing before Powered 4, but they are now. Great guys, Chris and Stu, really good guys. Big Fight Weekly kills it every single week. Good insight into all things sort of boxing and MMA and all that sort of stuff. And I imagine their show this coming week will be really good. Based on sort of the events that took place last night at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for the boxing.
Not so much of that from AJ, more.
Yeah, more getting sparked. Yeah. Oh. His face was a mess, man.
He looked in pain.
He did look in pain.
He was sat in the corner just like my eye really hurts.
Yeah, I think he was probably using stronger language than that, maybe.
Usyk was just like, I'm hard as fuck.
Yeah. Carnage says, have you been back at any live wrestling shows? No, not yet, but I'll be at
2 weeks.
2 weeks. I'll be on commentary at Wrestling in Hinckley. And yeah, that's that. Steve will be there in the crowd marking out.
Bailey Buffoon is going to be there with me as well.
Yeah, good times. Finn might be with me. It depends whether he's whether he's feeling it or not.
Whether he's serving the public.
Whether he's serving the public or not.
Although we're not going to have any food on shelves soon, so like they might as well just furlough him, and then he can just come and
do wrestling stuff with us.
Yeah. Sorry, there's no lorry drivers. There's no food actually in the shop, Finn. So you might as well go home.
Yeah. HBR, yep, that is the stadium that it was from. Boxing, is it actually the Tottenham Stadium, what it's called, or another name? They do call it the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, don't they?
Yeah, it's not sponsored. They didn't call it. They didn't rename it White Hart Lane or New White Hart Lane or anything like that. It is just the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Some people still call it White Hart Lane because it's pretty much in the same place as the old ground.
Yeah. Mo Farah called it White Hart Lane yesterday when he was being interviewed for the boxing.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those things, isn't it? You know, unless the new ground really moves to somewhere different, like West Ham, for example, they'll probably still call it by the old name. Yeah.
Squinny says AJ looked like superhuman after a stunt. Yeah.
Whoop whoop.
And he's still trying to convince someone to road trip with him to Hinckley. Just get Royals to go.
Come on.
If he's not wrestling that weekend, Royals will go. Just drag him along. We'll be there.
Come on.
So that's probably all you need to know about going to that show. Plus, the wrestling will be awesome.
Yeah, it will. It'll genuinely be really good.
Plus, other cool stuff might happen. You don't know. You don't know. Just go. It'll be great. Dan says, lots of talk of SummerSlam 30-year anniversary next year and WWE doing a pay-per-view for it. SummerSlam 92 30-year anniversary.
Yeah, so 30 year and do it in this country.
Hey, that'd be awesome. Get him booked, otherwise he'll be a penis. Hey, look, I don't do that. I'm not the booker. I don't book the territory. I'm just there. I'm just there doing commentary. You know, I'm there shouting wrestling move names. That's what I'm doing. Do you think this is Dan? Do you think, though, being that Tony Khan is with Fulham and he even was interested in buying Wembley at one point, Jesus, money bags, would AEW rival a big WWE UK event? I mean, AEW will come over here next year.
Yeah, they were supposed to come over here last year, but obviously the world went to shit.
Yeah, I mean, they surely do Craven Cottage in the summer, right?
Craven Cottage. Yeah, I think it was his dad that tried to buy Wembley at one point.
Right. And do I think they could? I think WWE would do better numbers ticket-wise in this country for a large-scale event than AEW would do, because WWE obviously is still the more known brand of pro wrestling in this country.
Yeah.
Now. You know, that's not to say that AEW won't do in the future, won't be able to sort of compete ticket-wise. But for example, if WWE was going to do SummerSlam here and AEW was going to do Double or Nothing, I think SummerSlam would be the one that would sell the biggest.
Yeah. Well, it'd be a bigger. SummerSlam would be a bigger venue. You know, potentially. You know, Wembley,
yeah,
Spurs, whatever, you know, somewhere like that.
If WWE were going to do a SummerSlam here again, it would be Wembley, wouldn't it? Because we were here X amount of years ago, and we're back here again. Not the same Wembley, obviously, but you know, it's that symbolic sort of thing. WWE love all that.
Yeah, they do. They do. I think it'd be interesting to see the next couple of WrestleManias are obviously in huge stadiums.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, will it sell out? Can they do enough to make it sell out between now and then?
The thing with WrestleMania, it's still WrestleMania.
Yeah, of course. It's Super Bowl, isn't it?
it's the, you know, and indie shows, you know, they sort of do a lot of, I'm booked WrestleMania week, WrestleMania weekend, we're doing this show. So WrestleMania is still the biggest deal in pro wrestling. It's the biggest show.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So yeah,
I'm not saying it's going to be a bloody half capacity, you know. It's not going to be that sort of level. I just wonder whether, you know, they've obviously booked two huge places because they're thinking, well, we're WWE, but you just don't know, dear, with the way things are going. That'll be the next thing, won't it? You've not seen obviously the ticketing and the attendance side of things for a while because there was no crowds. And then they have been selling places because people are excited to be back.
Mm-hmm.
But then the novelty is going to wear off soon because everything's open. You know,
WWE tours always do pretty well here.
Yeah, they do. But it wasn't that long ago. If you remember, I don't know, maybe 2.5 years ago, you would always see pictures on Twitter where a taping of SmackDown was half capacity and there was no fans on the hard cam side and things like that. Mm-hmm. You do wonder if at what point is it going to get back to that with the way things are going, and will that then start to impact your big pay-per-views?
I mean, maybe people will sort of have that have that mindset going forward of, you know, you can't really take stuff for granted. Because you know, SmackDown's there and you can just go whenever because SmackDown's always there. But then it's not there, and almost 2 full years go by where you can't actually even attend a single wrestling show.
Yeah.
So now do you sort of carry that mindset of, oh, you know, I don't want to miss it because you never know. I don't know. I mean, you know how people work, but you know, I understand what you're saying though.
Yeah.
Rachel says, I really wish WWE would, but as a UK fan, I feel let down by WWE and big shows in Saudi when all the UK fans have been supporting WWE for so long since 92 and we don't get anything. Yeah, I mean, obviously in between sort of 92, well, more sort of, I mean, you used to get rebellion and insurrection to coincide sort of with the two tours that WWE did every year. Weirdly enough, this time, though, they've not even come over to tape Raw or SmackDown.
No, I was thinking about that earlier, actually.
Yeah, they literally did the house shows in the cities that they did them in, even at the O2, but didn't film Raw or SmackDown.
No.
I mean, yeah. I mean, but money talks, doesn't it? You know, the Saudi shows. You see the numbers that they're getting for those shows, money wise, and it's insane. You know, it's a shit load of money, and that's why WWE do it. That's why WWE do most things because of money. That's why WWE release wrestlers to increase their profit margin, and all that sort of stuff. So I would love a full scale pay-per-view here. It's just whether they. I mean, I can't see why they don't. No, that's the thing. I don't see why they don't. I mean, I know they've given us NXT UK, so we do get takeovers here and stuff. But in terms of a full main roster show, I don't know. Bring back Insurrection and Rebellion. Just don't let them fly home on a private flight because they can't fucking behave themselves. Hi all. Reason the tour didn't do Raw or SmackDown, it was because it was a rollover from 2020 last year. Nice. Thank you, John, for that information. That's why. Good stuff. Right, let's have a look here. Carney says he can't be asked with WWE back again in November. Elsa Kano's here. What's happening, Elsa? Or Kano, whatever you want to be called. It's all good. Also, Powered for Entertainment says, great show. Hello, everyone. What's up?
Evening.
What's up? Hi all. How does a UK wrestling do since COVID? Don't see much coverage, which is odd on all the UK media like Wrestle Talk, What Culture, Cultaholic, etc., which is strange seeing as it's UK based. The shows in this country are just really getting back up to speed.
Yeah,
you know, TNT have been doing a lot of shows. Wrestle Carnival's just come along. They've been doing shows. But other shows are coming up. You know, you've got, the shows that I'm going to be at. So the Wrestling and Hinkley shows, which are a great Midlands-based promotion. You've got Full Force Wrestling, also Midlands-based, very, very good. Friend of the show, Chris Royals, he promotes Prize Wrestling, which is great as well. Really good stuff. And, so there's a lot of UK wrestling around. It's just, it's slowly recovering after COVID, like everything is. But because it is, funded mainly by the people who promote the shows and all that sort of stuff, and you have to generate interest. You have to show that everything's COVID safe and all that kind of thing in order to sort of get bodies there, which, makes perfect sense. So things are going to start to move forward slowly but surely. And obviously, there's also all the speaking out stuff that UK wrestling has got to recover from as well.
Yeah.
Kano says, I really like UK wrestling progress, PCW, Rev Pro. Yeah. And Rev Pro are doing shows again as well. I think that they've been doing a lot of shows in the capital. Will Ospreay's been on the shows. PCW, I think I've seen that they're going to be doing shows again soon as well. Progress, of course, now is on the WWE network. Not in front of fans, but just they're doing shows. Royals was at a PWL show today in a War Games match, and he had a prize show last week. So, there's a lot going on. Yeah. It's coming back. So, where some of the mainstream, wrestling media may not be. I'm just going to throw this out there now, right? The mainstream wrestling media don't give a fuck about independent wrestling. All right. The mainstream wrestling media in this country, they are all about WWE and now AEW. All right. They don't give a flying fuck about independent wrestling in this country. It's an afterthought. All that they've got their mindset on is the big time and getting to the big time. There's a lot of amazing performers on the independent scene in this country, scattered all around the country, working in different promotions. And HBR says they should care more. You're right. They should care more because some of the guys and girls who wrestle on the independents in this country could very well and, have been promoted to WWE. Bobby Tyler, she was on the independents. Now she's Stevie Turner in WWE. In NXT UK. They should care more because if the media in your own country won't help promote the, quote unquote grassroots pro wrestling, then, what hope does the scene have? Cultaholic have this massive stage. They should help promote the independents on that, instead of picking and choosing.
Yeah, I mean, I think with that particular YouTube channel, they do talk about it a little bit, but they don't have any. They don't have specific. Obviously, they put out regular content, don't they? They have scheduled content. It's never about independent wrestling,
But what's to stop them shoehorning
of
something
course.
about independent wrestling? There's enough people working for them.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, you'll get the odd mention on the Cultaholic podcast because Matthew Gregg watches all the wrestling, and Tom Campbell, he commentates, I think, for someone up in Newcastle, so he mentions it occasionally. But there's very rare, like you say, that there isn't a even if it was just a weekly sort of this is what's going on in independent wrestling in the UK.
Yeah.
A weekly thing. In the last week, this has happened on this, and this has happened on this. You don't get that. They never talk about NXT UK, which I know isn't obviously independent wrestling, but it never really gets talked about. So yeah, you are right. I think they're probably one of the better ones in terms of talking about independent wrestling. You very rarely get anything from the others.
Yeah, Wrestle Talk are all about WWE. No, not even a slight sign of the independents on there. Get the fuck out of here. What are you even doing? Big up the wrestling that's already in this country.
Yeah.
Help build new stars instead of just, going, just trying to sort of weasel your way in the arse crack of WWE all the time. Help out the independents in this country. Promote them, help sell tickets. You know what I mean? These things, people watch these things. I'm sure guys watching this now watch Wrestle Talk, Cultaholic, all that sort of stuff. Help build interest. You've got fans in all different parts of the country. Wrestling is happening in all different parts of the country every single weekend. There is absolutely no reason why, you can't just put up a thing of, oh, here's what's happening in different areas this weekend, even on your website, on YouTube, anything like that. Here's what's happening wrestling-wise in your area right now, or this weekend, or in the coming weeks.
Yeah.
It'll take these people, it would take these people minutes to throw something together. But the fact is they can't be asked. They've got no interest in it. All they want to do is watch Raw and SmackDown and maybe even NXT per week and talk about that, get their clicks, their likes, put their clickbait headlines out there, and make their money that way.
Yeah. It's all about like Brett says, it's because of mainstream interest in numbers.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it is. So
yeah, but they should be, ashamed of themselves to a degree. Some of the mainstream media in this country because they don't want to help. They'll help them if it helps them. Like if it's something that's good for them, then they'll promote it. They'll have people on their shows that are doing something good. If it's catching a little bit of, if it's going viral a little bit, they'll have somebody on involved with it. I'm not going to name names, but I've heard it, on radio shows and having different people who have just sort of made a little bit of a name for themselves online or whatever. But hey, look, I could bang this drum for fucking hours, but nobody wants to hear it. All right. I could bang this drum for hours, but the mainstream wrestling media in this country should be ashamed of themselves because all they want to do is work for WWE. They don't want to promote the guys and girls who bust their ass week in, week out, carting rings to and from places, all of that sort of stuff. They don't give a fuck about any of that. They just want to make money off their off clickbait headlines and watching Raw and SmackDown every week. That's what they want to do. Yeah. So fuck them. Anyway, let's talk WWE. But no, guys, in the comments, you're right. You're exactly right in what they're saying. everybody's also says, yeah, the only time UK media took interest is when it was negative. Yep. During the speaking out movement, when the media realized they could throw people under the bus and be negative towards the independent wrestling in this country. And hey, look, Kano, they're not rivals of ours. They're not. You think Wrestle Talk and Cultaholic give a fuck about us? They don't. They don't at all. So we're not rivals of them. And if I wouldn't. I'm just telling it how it is. A lot of people wouldn't like it, but I don't care. Couldn't care less. They're gonna fucking blackball me. Who gives a shit? Couldn't care less. Anyway, at the end of this show, I'm going to tell you about some awesome local pro wrestling that's happening around the country. But for now, let's have a look at the Extreme Rules pay-per-view. And let's make some predictions, because we've been going on here for 46 minutes and we haven't said shit about Extreme Rules.
Any of the matches.
Any of them at all. Let's start with this. This one looks pretty good. Triple threat match, which will be no DQ because it's a triple threat match. Damian Priest is defending his recently won United States Championship at SummerSlam. He's going to be defending that against Sheamus. Looking like Brad Pitt still from Snatch in that picture. Damo. And Jeff Hardy, who earned the right to do so on this past week's Raw, I believe. This will be good.
Yeah, it should be a really good match, actually. I think it'll be fairly entertaining. I just hope they don't. I doubt that they will, because there's only 6 matches anyway. I hope they don't push it to the pre-show. I think we'll probably get another match on the pre-show. I don't know whether that's been announced or anything.
I don't think so. Has anybody else seen anything? Because I haven't seen anything.
No,
there was a match I assumed would be pushed to the pre-show, and that was the Liv Morgan match. I don't hope it's not, but I just assumed it would.
No. I mean, a 6-match main pay-per-view is fine. Stick 1 match on the pre-show, 2 if you have to. I think they've got enough fucking wrestlers. Jesus. Let's have a bloody battle royal or something. Just do it, just stick everyone in.
Let's have a battle royal and a raffle.
Yeah, a meat raffle.
We'll get a battle royal and a meat raffle on the pre-show for Extreme Rules.
Yeah. Ricochet wins the Extreme Rules Battle Royal and a meat hamper.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably vegan.
He probably is, to be fair.
So, I'm sure there's an alternative.
Yeah, you can have some fake bacon or whatever. Yeah.
Faken. Yeah. Fake and base.
Fake and base, yeah. Oh, for God's sake.
Personal jokes that no one knows. Good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. We've lost our minds. It took 45 minutes to get into Extreme Rules.
This is what happens when you spend 10 hours together yesterday. Fucking absolute bollocks.
Oh, God almighty. Sheamus would love a ring of sausages. He would. I firmly believe he would. Is he vegan? He's not vegan, is he?
No.
No. I've got on good authority. No.
No. I doubt it.
I doubt it as well. He loves a bit of meat in him in the morning.
Right, who's winning this match?
Damian Priest, I think.
Yeah, too soon to take it off him. Just let him have it for a bit longer. Put a bit of stuff in him. Come on.
Yeah, I think Jeff Hardy wins it eventually.
Yeah, maybe.
Or they move it to SmackDown. Who knows?
I don't know.
But I think it's too early to take it off Damian Priest. I really like Damian Priest. I think he's good.
Yeah, he is good. For sure. So, no, I think he'll keep hold of it.
Yeah.
But it'll be a good match.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good match because it is, essentially it is a no DQ match with it being a triple threat. So hopefully we'll get some cool stuff going on in that match. There's 3 very capable guys there.
Yeah, certainly.
Quick flick back to the comments from before. HBR says he saw me, he heard me do Full Force Wrestling commentary previously and said it was good. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Gundam Goku is here. What's happening? What's happening, dude? He says, hey, lads. What's happening, man? Welcome. You've just missed 45 minutes of nothing. You've got it just in time for the Extreme Rules portion of this live broadcast.
Yes.
We should basically just call this Games and Graps Live plus some Extreme Rules stuff.
Plus potentially some predictions.
Yeah. But, you know, we get distracted by the comments, and that's okay.
That's good. Yeah, we like them.
Because we're here to entertain you.
Yeah.
And we're not regulated by anybody.
Regulate.
The rhythm is the bass, and the bass is Balea. Terry Funk, step to this. I dare. Terry Funk on a whole new level.
The rhythm is the bass, and the bass
is Balea. What the fuck, man?
What is up with this?
Damien Priest wins.
Damien Priest wins. We've gotten to the bottom of why Brett was banned from TalkSport.
Oh, enlighten me.
I was banned because I said Logan was a better draw than Bobby Lashley, and they never agreed with it. They never agreed with me. So I kept calling back and the producer on the phone and gave false names. Oh, I love it, Brett. That's amazing.
That's so good.
I want Brett. Just randomly ring up TalkSport breakfast on a Thursday or a Friday when Alan Brazil was in. Just make out that you're going to ask a question about football, and then just go, "Why don't you like wrestling, dickhead?" Just see what he says. See what he says. Just do it, Brett. I'll be listening, so I'll hear you.
And we'll clip that part out of the show and play it on this podcast every single week because it'll be amazing.
You don't watch wrestling, do you? Oh my God.
Oh no.
Oh, Steve Austin. Oh.
Right. Gundam is a AW mark. Hey, look, we all are. It's all good.
Nothing wrong with that.
Not at all. Maybe we'll do a Ouija board and get into H with Greengrass. Oh, Greengrass is dead, isn't he?
That's what he's saying.
Oh, right.
Getting to Hinkley. Is that what you mean by H or heroin?
I think so.
I don't know which one you're on about.
It could be heroin.
Could be heroin, couldn't it?
It could be.
Let's not start the rumor that Greengrass was on heroin.
No, he was on the green grass, right? He probably wasn't yet. Oh, Jesus wept. Carnage.
Can't say anything bad about him.
Yeah, that's fair. Hey, look, supposedly a nice guy. I used to see him picking his granddaughter up from school when I was at school.
Top bloke, lovely bloke.
Yeah. Right. Carnage says, "What do you think of Rick Steiner's son?" Awesome. Crap name.
Monster.
Yeah, he's exactly that. Yeah, monster.
Monster being pushed to the monster being pushed to the moon.
Yep.
Main events WrestleMania in 3 years. You heard it here first.
Yep. You won't hear that anywhere else.
No, because they're too scared.
They're too scared to say it. They're too scared to watch NXT 2.0 and say NXT 2.0 repeatedly.
NXT 2.0.
NXT 2.0.
Games and Graps 2.0.
Games and Graps. Oh God, we've got. Guys, you don't want us to do Extreme Rules predictions.
No,
you just want us to talk this nonsense in the comments.
It's going to be a shit pay-per-view. Let's just talk to these lots. I don't know. I don't mean that. It's probably going to be a perfectly fine pay-per-view. Ask him
if he fancies a high score. Hey, look, I wish Finn was here so that we could have the high score bloke stuff. Rachel used to watch Heartbeat. Cool.
Same.
Heartbeat. That guy was like only in Heartbeat. I can't remember his name. Not Greengrass, but
Nick Berry.
Yes, Nick Berry.
He was in EastEnders as well.
Was he?
Yeah.
Before Heartbeat.
Yeah.
Okay. Gundam says, "Yeah, he stopped watching WWE. I have no clue what's on this card." But that's what we're here for at some point, probably. Mind you, Steve, we probably thought the same about the wrestler from NXT who got found out on Twitter for liking Stephanie McMahon. What was his name?
What was that in reference to me saying?
I can't remember. Bron Breakker.
Oh. The NXT wrestler who found out Twitter for liking Stephanie McMahon.
Who was it? Who was it, Rachel? Tell us.
I can't remember who it was.
Rachel, are you referring to Nick Berry there? Was he in the Carry On movies?
No. Greengrass was.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Oh, fair play. Fair play. Right, so we've gone for Damian Priest in that first match. Luckily, there's only 6 matches on this card. Otherwise, we'll be here forever.
Yeah.
Next up, a match that I think might get bumped to the pre-show, but I hope not. It's Liv Morgan, and she's taking on Carmella. They've been having a little bit of a rivalry on SmackDown these last few weeks, and I think it's actually pretty cool that this match has gotten on a pay-per-view and not just been relegated to an episode of SmackDown.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not really sure what they're actually having a fight about. Looks, I guess. But yeah, I totally agree. This could easily be a bump to a SmackDown or a whatever, a dark match. Main event.
Yeah, they'll just show like pictures of it from a house show. Oh yeah, they've been having this massive rivalry. It'll just be stills. It won't even be footage, just stills from a house show.
Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Lars Sullivan. I nearly said Lars Sullivan.
Yeah. Did he like Stephanie McMahon, did he? I thought he was gay.
I think he was bisexual.
Bisexual. Oh. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with it at all. He did the porn, didn't
he? He did the porn, yeah.
The porn, yeah.
The porn.
You know, the porn.
The porn.
Yeah.
And he did the racism.
He did the racism as well, didn't he? But didn't he also do the homophobics?
He ironically did the homophobics, whilst also doing the porns and whilst doing the racism.
Yeah.
What's a strange man.
Yeah. I'm sure everyone thought he was going to be main event until the tweets were found about Stephanie on Twitter. He said he watched videos of her to get him off. Crikey. So he was a racist homophobe who did gay porn and jacked off to Stephanie McMahon. That's quite the CV, isn't it?
What do you think Vince said when he heard? Probably shook his hand.
Which hand?
Whatever.
Well, the one he used to get off with?
Could be.
Worked for Macho Man. Good times. Oh God, this has gone to shit. This Gundam. Oh, Liv versus Carmella. That feud is like 3 months old. Yep, it's been going on for a while.
Yeah.
Let's just run a prediction through it. I'm going to say Liv Morgan wins.
Yeah, Liv Morgan, babyface win.
Yeah. Next up, the SmackDown Tag Team Championships are on the line as Jimmy and or Jay are defending against the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford, who main evented SmackDown this week against Roman Reigns, which is cool as shit.
Really cool. Yes. I only see one winner in this, to be honest.
Street Profits?
No.
Okay.
No. I think the Usos will win. It doesn't feel like the Street Profits have had much of a build really towards this, other than Montez Ford being in the main event of SmackDown. I can't see the Usos losing this.
No, I do really like the Street Profits.
Oh yeah, they're class.
And they're a proper tag team, which is great.
Yeah,
it was what we called for on the podcast the other week.
Mm-hmm. We did.
But yeah, no, I don't see the Usos losing. I see them going up against RK Bro at Survivor Series, probably. But you never know. Look, stranger things have happened. Something's got to give on this pay-per-view, otherwise everyone's just retaining.
I was just thinking that myself, to be honest.
It's happened before, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Gundam says Bloodline ain't losing. Yeah, you wouldn't imagine so.
No.
Steve Monkman says favorite Carry On film was Carry On at Your Convenience. It was so funny. Sid James was a legend.
Go on, Sid James.
Go on, Sid James.
Looks about 80 when he was 32.
Yeah, absolute shagger.
Oh, unbelievable. Absolute swordsman.
Top swordsman. Top swordsman. Is RK Bro on the card? No.
No.
There's 6 matches. Most of them are SmackDown, I think. But, it does. WWE do this all the time where they'll just throw some matches in there that they've made up on the spot.
Reggie isn't retaining.
Brett says, I like Carry On Doctor. The opening scene where the guy is talking to audience about not needing hospitals and doctors, and then he falls off stage and cuts to an ambulance. Classic. Absolutely classic.
The old ones are the best.
The old ones are the best. Absolutely they are. Okay, so we're both going for the Usos. Let's move on to... there's 2 Raw matches, one for the US title, one for the women's title. So we'll go with the women's title next. Charlotte Flair, whose dad is not a favorite of the internet right now, is defending her Raw Women's Championship against A. Bliss. Can't say the first name because it will trigger off a device in my house.
And mine.
So, Charlotte retains, right?
You'd have thought so. Absolutely. But
I'm listening. I am.
I know he's not currently under contract with WWE and probably would have been released this week if he was anyway. Does all the negativity around Ric Flair cost Charlotte tonight in any way from a backstage point of view? I think they see a hell of a lot of stock in Charlotte, regardless of who her dad is anyway. But it also gives them a good excuse for her to lose it, to then win it again, so then she gets the 16 titles.
This is true. And A-Dot has been doing some good stuff, these last few months in this character that she's doing now. So I would quite like her to win. You know what? Actually, I'm going to go for A-Dot to win because, I just feel like it's probably time to do so. Have this character have the title and just see what happens with it.
Yeah. Because she's on like every episode of Raw, isn't she? She's on.
Yep.
She's been she hasn't really been off our screens since WrestleMania, has she? So It's like that, and that's a few months ago now. So what is all of this? What is this not overexposure, but why put so much into that character to then not to be a payoff like a title eventually?
Yeah. I mean, it's got to lead to something, right?
It's got to. Or so they're just going to have done to her what they did. Maybe they're trying to not do to her what they did to Bray, and put the belt on him too soon, with this out there character. I don't know. I'm actually really intrigued by it because I want to sort of see, now that there's crowds there as well, what sort of spooky shit can they do? I mean, some of it is absolute nonsense. But when there wasn't a crowd there, they could pre-record stuff and do some really, really experiment with stuff. But now there is a crowd there. What can they do? If they do anything at all? I don't know. I think it's actually probably more interesting than I originally thought. So
that's live screens of Charlotte Flair, by the way, getting ready for her match tonight at Extreme Rules against A. Bliss.
That's her running away from her dad because she's like, look,
stop windmilling your dick at me.
Look,
I'm your daughter.
She's like, Dad, in the last 2 months.
This is Charlotte when she gets to the arena. There we go.
Yeah.
We'll keep that there for a minute while we're talking about this match.
Yeah. She's probably saying to her dad, look, in the last 2 months, you've embarrassed me by there being a picture of you licking a girl out on the plane. You've been windmilling on a plane and sexually harassing a flight attendant.
Not laughing at that.
And you hate gays. So, fuck off, Dad.
Yeah,
Strange
that's
one.
fair.
I don't know. I don't know who wins this one. I think it's actually tougher to call than we realise.
Yeah, possibly. I'm going for A-Dot.
I'm going to go Charlotte then. I'm going to Charlotte.
Okay, then. All right. Should be an interesting one. Yeah. Right. I'm lost. Right. SmackDown Women's Championship.
Yep.
Bianca Belair looking to regain the SmackDown Women's Championship against big time Becky Lynch, the current SmackDown Women's Champion. Becky is a heel, and people said, oh, what are you doing turning Becky Lynch heel? But it's working.
Of course it is.
And it's helping get Bianca over. Not that she needed the help.
No. But no, it's absolutely working. Definitely.
Yeah. Do I see her losing the championship tonight? Nope.
No, I don't. I think what you'll probably see tonight is a real valiant effort from Bianca Belair, and she probably gets, I don't know, shenanigans. Becky wins by shenanigans.
Yeah, Becky wins by some sort of cheating and bollocks.
So there's almost a redemption for the whatever it was 10-second loss at SummerSlam, I think it was. So yeah, it'll probably be a match that she absolutely dominates and whatever, and then Becky gets a dodgy win, and then we get a rematch somewhere. Probably Survivor. Well, maybe not Survivor Series, but we get a rematch, and then Bianca wins it back then. Yeah,
I can see that. Yeah, this leads to a big victory for Bianca down the road, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Right, there's loads of stuff going on here. Right, in the comments, Squinny loves the Charlotte Flair stuff. He loves it. Yeah. Gundam says this is WWE, guys. Got to lead to something. No, yeah, that's fair. I mean, that's fair. Totally fair. Calling it a DQ on an Extreme Rules pay-per-view. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, it's down currently as a singles match. So I get what you say. I get what you're saying, but it is currently a singles match, not an Extreme Rules match or anything like that. So,
HBR said they did this match at the O2 and Bianca was so over with the crowd, which is strange. As being in the UK, they were cheering Becky on her promo before the match, but Bianca is a superstar for sure. Yes. Yeah. HBR also says, sometimes how you need to see someone in person to see they have it. That's what I saw in Bianca. Cool. Yeah, that's cool. I've seen Bianca Belair wrestle in person as well, and she's awesome. She's a super athlete. There's no other way to describe it other than she's a super athlete.
I'm trying to think. Was I there that night or was I not?
I saw it download, I think.
Oh, okay.
For NXT. No. But, yeah, I don't see her winning tonight, but I see her winning the championship down the line at some point.
Yeah.
Again. Yeah. And it'll be a real sort of, like you said, redemption story. So you have Becky against probably Charlotte at, or A-Dot at Survivor Series.
Yeah.
You know what? It's likely to be Charlotte, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, a lot of things can change after tonight because obviously we've got the draft next week.
That's true, actually. Yeah. So this is sort of
some of these feuds might not go any further than tonight because of the draft. So that's something to look out for, I guess. Yeah,
it's an interesting one. This is definitely we've got to do a pay-per-view, so let's throw a card together.
Yeah. I mean, calling it Extreme Rules is a little bit kind of Trademark Descriptions Act. I mean, they probably could have just called this September's pay-per-view. Yeah.
I agree with HBR there. They should go back to In Your House pay-per-view names in between the big four.
Hell yeah.
Yep. Gundam says, why call it Extreme Rules if they're not doing any Extreme Rules matches? Main events, Extreme Rules.
Yeah, just only that, though. Only that. And obviously the triple threat would be no DQ. So.
Yeah. Gripper says, is Big E a transitional champion at best? I hope not.
I hope not.
Yeah, I like Big E a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Right, so we're both saying Becky's going to win, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Right, that brings us on to the what I would imagine is going to be the main event of the evening, which is the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns defending against the Demon, undefeated Demon Finn Balor. In fact, is he undefeated? Did the Fiend beat him?
Did he ever have a match against the Fiend as the Demon?
I actually don't know. If they didn't, that's a missed opportunity, but I'm not actually sure now. No, they didn't, did they? Did they just have Finn Balor versus the Fiend?
Yes. I have a feeling that they say that he's undefeated as the Demon, but actually he lost as the Demon to Samoa Joe on NXT.
Did he? What, for
apparently so. In a cage match or something.
Yeah, probably.
But
Take over London? No, surely he didn't lose at Takeover London.
WWE like to rewrite history, don't they? So
yeah, he's probably lost in NXT, but that's not WWE, is it? So they don't count it.
Yeah, and now it's NXT 2.0. So
NXT 2.0. Screen says there we want Great Balls of Fire 2.0.
Yeah.
Gundam says Finn went back to NXT when he lost to Bray, but it was Finn and not the Demon, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah. I don't think this is necessarily as cut and dry as you think.
No.
Well, just purely because there is that whole he is undefeated as the Demon. And do we see Big E get involved to set up something for Survivor Series?
But that would also mean Roman retaining, I guess. If it's Raw versus SmackDown, well, I mean, I'm working under the assumption that it's Raw versus SmackDown. I don't know for sure.
No, I'm not 100%.
Was it Raw versus SmackDown last year? I can't even remember. If anyone remembers Survivor Series last year, was it Raw versus SmackDown? Because I can't remember.
I'll have a search.
HBR says, "Give me pay-per-views are stupid as every time in the same month it's Hell in a Cell, and sometimes you don't have a reason to have a Hell in a Cell match." Yeah, you're right. I hate that as well. I hate it. It's fucking crap. Yeah, Demon has lost once. They were saying on Busted Open, but was that in NXT or was it in WWE?
I think it was in NXT.
I think it was too. Rachel asks, is Harry Smith actually in WWE or what? He has apparently signed a contract, but he's actually vanished off the face of the earth. So, to answer that question, yes, but also no at the same time, because I have no idea where he is. One would imagine he would go to NXT UK and perhaps win the championship there at some point from Dragunov. I don't know.
So to answer your question, last year's Survivor Series, it was Raw because you had Raw versus SmackDown because you had a dual brand battle royal which was won by The Miz, Team Raw versus Team SmackDown traditional Survivor Series 5-on-5 men's match, Street Profits who were SmackDown Tag Champs versus the New Day who were Raw Tag Team Champs at the time, Bobby Lashley who was the US Champ on Raw versus Sami Zayn, who was the SmackDown's Intercontinental Champ. Sasha Banks beat Asuka. That was champion versus champion. And then you had the women's 5-on-5 Survivor Series match, which was won by Team Raw. And then you had Roman versus Drew, which was SmackDown versus Raw.
Got ya. Shit, so man, Roman's been champion for so long.
Yeah, it's ages. Absolutely ages.
Yeah. Right, Kate says, how is World of Sport seen in the UK? Like as a legacy to newer wrestling fans, does it have a place or is it used as a nostalgia trick like with old school wrestling matches here and there? World of Sport has a legacy here, maybe not sort of the newer version of World of Sport, which was nothing more really than a glorified Saturday night entertainment TV show on ITV.
Yeah.
But the old World of Sport, definitely, yeah, legacy, man. I mean, it's got, the likes of Johnny Saint and, people of that ilk sort of came from that era of British wrestling. Big Daddy, Giant Haystacks, the World of Sport era definitely, is legendary in this country,
Yeah, definitely.
I saw a Power 4 interview with Harry's sister Georgia recently. What a lovely person she is. She's so positive. Surprised she's not a bigger part in Brit Rest. I think that might be by choice. I think sort of she's very busy sort of maintaining the legacy of her dad, which is great, you know. And obviously she was president of the Hall of Fame and stuff like that. There's my cat. You good? Oh, back again. Cool. There we go. All right. And I think it's probably by choice that she's not a bigger part in British wrestling. I think she's very busy sort of maintaining the legacy of her dad and whatnot. So, yeah. I'm going for a Roman Reigns win.
The smart money would be Roman Reigns. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I don't know where this leaves Finn, though.
Going to Raw? In the draft, maybe?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, we've already had WWE have already spoiled sort of part of the draft and probably part of tonight's results anyway, haven't they?
Yeah, most likely.
By announcing Reigns versus Drew on next week's SmackDown.
Saying that they do sort of have people from Raw wrestle on SmackDown as part of the draft and vice versa.
Yeah, it was advertised as a title match, though.
Yeah, fair one. So. That's classic WWE, that is, to be honest.
Oh, God, yeah.
HBR says, I hated that revamp of World of Sport on ITV. Absolutely garbage. Studio audience. Yeah, which is a shame because they had some real talent on there. He's also put a cat emoji to symbolize my cat, Podcat, walking across the screen. Squiddy says, I met Georgia Smith at a show going back 6 or 7 years. Amazing, cheery person, I'm assuming that means. She was in MLW as an interviewer. Oh, okay. I think she's dating Hammerstone. Okay, that's cool as well. Rachel says, Georgia is incredible. She did some stuff in MLW. I love her mum, Diana. Also, Brett says, World of Sport is never shown on TV. Get it on Powered 4. It's actually owned by ITV, so that wouldn't be possible, unfortunately.
Fortunately, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm going for Roman Reigns. Are you going Roman Reigns or are you going?
I think the smart money's Roman Reigns, but it should be good. Should.
Yeah, the thing with WWE and what they fuck up doing is why announce the Universal Title match for the Saudi show? Just wait.
Yeah,
it can wait. You know, people in Saudi are going to go to the Saudi show regardless of who's on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so it doesn't need to be the Universal title between Brock and Reigns. I know they're saying, "Oh, but it could change hands." But we know it won't. Don't.
Yeah, we know it won't. It's not like flipping boxing, is it? Where they're like, "Oh, they've already got a date for AJ Fury. Yeah, AJ just needs to win." Oh shit, it's lost. Yeah. It's not like that, is it? It's wrestling. At the end of the day, yeah, you're right. The good people of Saudi Arabia are going to go to that show regardless. But Reigns versus Brock, and this is no disrespect to Finn Balor because he's fucking amazing. But Finn versus Brock probably isn't as big a draw. Or it definitely isn't as big a draw as Reigns versus Brock. So
true. Powered 4 there have responded to what Brett asked about World of Sport. Brett, we have made inquiries, however, back then on ITV used to record over the reels, and there is not a lot left. The Wrestling Channel had it running. It did. I remember. Do you remember the Wrestling Channel? Holy shit! In early 2000s, but a lot was missing because they recorded over it. WWE also inquired about a purchase, and I think was told the same thing. So it's a real shame that there's not a lot of footage left from back in the original World of Sport days. But yeah, I'm sure you can YouTube some stuff.
Yeah, I think you can.
Yeah. Right. I mean, that's been good. We've covered a lot of ground tonight.
Hell of a lot. Yeah.
Hell of a lot of ground. We hope you've enjoyed this show, rants and all. But look, keep supporting us. You know, we're here. We put a show out every week for the most part. And when we're not doing a weekly podcast, we're doing a live that week. So if there was ever not one, that means we're doing a live on the weekend.
Yeah.
But keep supporting us. Keep supporting Powered 4 TV. There is so much great independent wrestling on Powered 4 TV. So please definitely go and check them out. Go and subscribe. Go and look at some of the great stuff that's on there. DNA, TNT, Full Force Wrestling in Hinckley. There's so much to choose from. I just want to tell you about a few dates, depending on where you are. in the country. Let's start with Jurassic Pro Wrestling. Some friends of mine who wrestle in the lower end of the country. They're putting on a show in Harwich. And there's it. Where? Let me get the date for you. October the 10th, 2021. It's going to be good, man. It's going to be really, really good. Go to jurassicpro.bigcartel.com and check out them. There's some really good talent there. You got Forrest Hayes, Nick Payne. The lads are going to be there. Warren Banks, I believe, is going to be there as well. So there's some really good stuff. Charles Crowley's going to be there. Yeah, there's some really good guys and girls going to be working that show. So go and check that out. That is October the 10th. And like I said, go to, let me get you that, jurassicpro.bigcartel.com. Wrestling in Hinckley is running the night before, October the 9th, which is a Saturday. Go to wrestlinginhinckley.bigcartel.com to get your tickets for that. That should be really good. I'll be there on commentary. Come and say hello to me, because that'd be cool. Steve will be there as well, and hopefully Finn will be there as well.
Yep.
So TNT Wrestling have got loads of stuff going on, so go and check them out as well. Ticket links and stuff can be found on their Facebook page. They have shows running all the time. DNA, who I've done commentary for as well, 30th of October at Inspire Suffolk in Ipswich. Great promotion, really good stuff. www.dnaprowrestling.com/buy-tickets. Front row is already sold out. Yeah, Steve says there, big up Catch Pro Wrestling. There's so much great stuff. They're just the three that I could think of off the top of my head, but there is so much good stuff. And yeah, come to Wrestling Hinckley, you can see me. We'll have a photo. It'd be great. But yeah, go to Powered 4. They are always, go to the Powered 4 Facebook page. They're always putting on there about upcoming shows for the various promotions that are available on the site. And just go to powered4tv.com and check out some of the great stuff they've got on there. And you can hear my voice on DNA, Full Force, Wrestling in Hinckley, IWE. All those guys have got great shows coming up. Go check them out. Go buy tickets. Go and support your local professional wrestling. You can see the future stars of your favorite promotions right there. And also just support this podcast. It rules.
Yes.
There you go. Yeah, man. So if you're new to this channel, subscribe, like, tell your friends, all that sort of stuff. Squinny says you're not going to charge 20 quid each like the Nasty Boys are, did you? Are you? Yeah. Yeah, I am. I'll charge you at least, no one else. Anyone else? Free. And I'll sign it for what it's worth, which is fuck all. But Squinny, £20 for the photograph, £30 for the signature. Try and make the money back on eBay. We could do a contest for it.
Fair price, I think.
Sully and Mike's voice on Powered 4 TV. That's it. Me and the Mad Dog, Mike Angus.
Who?
No, yeah, man. So yeah, tell your friends about this podcast if they like wrestling, if they like video games, and they like stupidity. Then this podcast is for you and for them. But we'll be back with a brand new episode of our regular podcast this coming week. So, yeah, please go like us on all the socials. It's at Games and Graps on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Yep.
We're on TikTok at Games and Graps. And, of course, you know, if you're watching on YouTube, you already know we're there. So, yeah, man. Yeah, that's it. Right. Thank you very much for watching the pre-show before the pre-show for tonight's Extreme Rules pay-per-view. If you watch it, we hope you enjoy it. If you don't watch it, just catch up with the highlights on social media tomorrow morning.
They'll be there.
They'll certainly be there. Right, my name is Sonny G. And I've been with Steve.
See you later.
This is Games and Graps Live from the Games and Graps podcast. We are a weekly video game and wrestling podcast that posts every single week across podcast services everywhere. And youtube.com/Games Graps. We're going to leave you with an advert for our podcast, just in case you've never seen us before and want to check it out. But thank you very much. Take it easy, guys. Goodbye. What's happening, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of the Games and Graps podcast. Sonny G here with Finn Steele and Steve.
It's just so accessible, you know what I mean? Like, Tony Hawk has always been just one of them games you can pick up and play. You're either great at it or you're bang average at it.
So this is for the Sonny and Finn Championship.
It is. This one.
His name didn't argue. His name. Never disagree. It's not good. Oh shit.
But when you do pull a trick off, it looks and it feels so good.
Snapped on Retribution. Is that? I mean, are we seeing the beginning of the end of Retribution? I hope so.
A weird ending to the Big E and Apollo match. Not really sure what happened there. Some people saying it's a bit of a botched ending.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's fine having them coming in and wrecking the ring and like acting like idiots, but that it just looks stupid because it's not believable. Yeah, we're looking like the Bee Gees with our beards and hair because we're not allowed to get haircuts. We could shave, but we just choose not to.
It's very unimpressive when I do it like that, but yeah.
It's the other one that's really impressive for other reasons.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Just one big Popeye arm. Good evening, Finn.
Good evening.
Finn!
I made it, kind of. Hello.
Are you wearing a dressing gown?
Yeah. I couldn't bother to get changed, so I just
What?
put it down.
He thinks he's Ric Flair. Look at him.
We're finally real podcasters, not just like part-timers.
Exactly.
The called the best podcast episode ever. If only we had a soundbite for that.
Oh.